Alright, so in this exercise, we're going to use a column grid to sketch a new basement walls. And then after that, we're going to add openings to the wall. Okay, so the first thing that we'll be doing, let's sketch the basement walls in our plan view. So currently I'm on second floor. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the structural wall here. So structural wall. So I'm going to select that one. And then I will be using here exterior wall, 300 millimeters concrete. So I select this one, and then I'll be using the line tool. All right, and then for the options here, on the options bar, I'll be selecting a depth. Okay, and then I want that to be until the basement. Okay, so what will happen is I'm going to create a wall from second floor going down to the basement. Okay, so that's why it's that. Okay, and then for the location line, let me change this to core face exterior. Okay, let's do this. So make sure chain is checked so that we'll be able to create our walls continuously. So I'm gonna pick A1 here. Okay, A1 to B1, B2 grid, C2, C3, and A3, and then close. All right, and then I'll just select here modify. Okay, so if I check this one in the 3D view, so select 3D, so this is now how it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna close the second floor here, and then I'm gonna open the basement. So let me just double click the basement, and then I want to see it side by side, so I'm gonna select tile views so I can see the floor plan here, and then I can also see here my 3D view. Okay, right, so now what I'm gonna do next is here in the floor plan view, I'm going to hover my pointer to one of the wall. Okay, just move your pointer over the wall and then press tab once. So what will happen is it will highlight the connection. So once you see it highlights, you click it to select. Okay, or you can also do that here in the 3D view. So like hover your pointer to one of the wall and then press tab once. And then as you can see, it will highlight the wall. So once it highlights, you can click that. And there you go. Or another way is just in the 3D view, just use the crossing selection to select all of it. Okay, so after you select all the walls, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to change my base offset. Okay, so instead of 0, I want the base offset to be minus 450 millimeters. So I'm going to type here minus 450 millimeters. And then after that, I'll select here apply. And there you go. It now goes down minus 450. Okay, so you also notice here on my floor plan. Right, so here on my floor plan, this wall that I created is not lining up with the CAD file here. So that's the CAD file. So I want that to be lined up. So I'm gonna align it by going to the modify tab and then looking for align. Shortcut for align is by default that's AL. I just changed it to AA. Okay, but the original shortcut for align is AL. Okay, so I'm gonna select align, and then I want to select where I would like to align my wall. So I want that to be aligned here. So I'm gonna select that, and then I'm going to select this wall here to align that. There you go. Okay, and then I'll select here modify. Okay, so it's now lined up. So now the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the first floor here, and then I want to create another wall here. So I'm going to select structural wall. Okay, so this time I'm gonna use generic 190 millimeters masonry type of wall. So I select that one, and then for the options here, so I'm gonna use depth again, and then for the level, I want that to be until basement. So I select basement. All right, and then for the location line, I'll be using core face exterior again. Okay, and then after that, I'm going to snap here So I click that, and then I move my pointer to the right, and then I'm gonna type the distance like 11,900, and then enter. There you go. And then I select here modify. All right, so it's now created here. Okay, so now I'm gonna open the basement again. Okay, and then I'm going to place here a door opening. Okay, so I'll place a door opening. So I just go to the architecture, and then I select here door. Okay, so that's the door opening. So I'll be using 2000, this one, 915 by 2134 millimeters. So I select that one, and then after that, I'll just place it here to create an opening. It will reflect here as well. So I'll place it here on my floor plan. Click, and there you go. So there's now my opening there, and then I select here modify. Okay, so now the next thing that we will be doing is we're going to add window openings in our elevation view. Okay, so here, so I'm gonna open my south wall elevation. Okay, so I want to create an opening somewhere here. Okay, so let's create an opening. So I'll be selecting the window tool here. So window, okay, and then after that, I'm gonna modify this one. So I have a window opening here, but let's say what I want is another size that is not included here. Okay, so for me to be able to create another opening, so I'm going to select your edit. So I click edit, and then same procedure. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this. Again, you can modify the view here if you want that to be in the 3D view. So that's how it looks like. Or elevation, placement side, that one, and then I can duplicate this. So let's duplicate and then rename it 1980 by 2140 millimeters. Okay, and then I'll select here okay. And of course, I need to modify the width here. Okay, so for the width, 1980, and then for the height, 2140. Okay, so that's 2140, and then that's your width. All right, and then after that, I'll just select here okay. Okay, so we are now ready to place it. So okay, and there you go. And then I'm going to hover my pointer here. So there's the seal height as well. So there's the seal height. You see that dotted line there. Okay, so I'm going to place it here. There you go. And then it's now reflected here. And then I select here modify. Okay. So I'm going to select this wall opening, and then I'll change the seal height. So I'm just going to make that 0. There you go. And then I want that to be lining up to my grid B. So I can just use the move tool, or I can just use the align tool. So it's up to you. So I go to the modify. So here I'll just use align tool. So I select the grid, and then I select the side of the wall opening, and then I'll select here modify. Okay. So next is I'm going to edit the wall profile to add an opening. Okay, so I'm going to edit the wall profile. So meaning I'm going to select the wall, and then you see there's a mode here. So there's edit profile. So I'm going to select here edit profile. Okay, and then after that, I'll be using a rectangle tool. So I select this one. All right, and then I'm going to pick this corner here. Okay, and then I'll just place it here. So let's say it's just the same size like this one here. So I'm going to type here. So that is 1980. And then this one is 2140. All right. And then I'll select here modify. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to select that rectangle. So I'm gonna move that. So I click that corner and then move it up here. There you go. And then I'll just click outside. Okay. Right. And then after you modify the profile of the wall, so you just need to select here, check to finish. Okay. So that's it. So we just created an opening. So we created the wall profile. We edit the wall profile here to create an opening. So there's no opening symbol, but our opening window here, so there's a symbol there when they created the family. Okay, so this is now how it looks like. All right, so that's it for this exercise. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.